Generic presentations get generic engagement. Their attention's limited, so they need your help in signaling and guiding them when and where to pay attention. But when you call out what they're thinking, it feels like it was made for them and they lean in more.
When you don't, it can feel like you're speaking to a wall.
I'm Michael Bruner. I help technical professionals land ideas with audiences and shape decisions. In this video, I'll show you 4 specific moments and one bonus one at the end where you can call out audiences by name, by mindset, by how they feel, by where they are in their journey, in a way that captures their attention when it serves them most. Attention is finite. You can help direct it to make the most of it. A generic presentation feels not interesting versus a presentation where it feels like they are speaking to you. What you are thinking, how you feel, your situation. When it resonates, you lean in. The moment you start speaking, the audience's brain starts making decisions. What's relevant? What can I file away? Where should I pay attention? What actually requires my focus right now? These aren't conscious choices, they're automatic. It's the brain's way of conserving energy in an environment with competing demands. There's a well-documented phenomena in cognitive research called the cocktail party effect. In a noisy room, you can tune out almost everything around you. But the moment someone says your name or describes your situation, your attention snaps to it involuntarily. Personally relevant information bypasses the brain's filtering mechanism and commands your immediate focus. Your name, your role, your situation, these cut through. And when people feel seen and understood and accepted, something shifts. The threat response settles. Their openness increases and the learning begins. Attention is precious and it's worth fighting for, but we need to strategize so that we honor it and are not fighting against it. The best speakers direct attention. It's like a lighthouse that's rotating deliberately, signaling clearly, and telling people in the room exactly when and where to focus. This video is about 4 specific moments and a bonus one at the end that does exactly that. Call out your audience specifically, personally, purposefully, in a way that captures their attention, that serves them most. Our first way to connect with the audience is the context bridge. It's about connecting this moment to a shared past and calling out the people who are part of it. The failure mode looks like this. Welcome. Today we have a packed agenda and are going to be covering 5 important topics. The speaker is transmitting. The audience might be receiving at best. The leader's version sounds like this. The last time we were together, Frederica brought up something that stuck with me. She said she needed a system where all the parts were working together instead of a bunch of different tools. Today's session is built around that challenge. What just happened in that room? Frederica was honored for having her insight acted upon, and everybody else who had that same unspoken thought, they lean in and are interested as well. The context bridge is powerful and does 3 important things at once. First, it creates continuity. It tells the brain that this is not an isolated event. It's part of an ongoing conversation worth tracking. Second, it activates what neuroscientists call neural pathway reinforcement. Revisiting a prior connection activates that neural pathway and it strengthens the memory. Thirdly, it signals to everyone in the room that their presence and participation matters over time. And that can drive culture. The context bridge says, this is a moment in history, and you are part of that history. And what we do here today connects to something bigger than just this room. The second moment, generic information is easy to ignore, but a shared experience is hard to dismiss. A common mistake in presentations is to treat the audience as just one simple, singular entity. True, they're having a shared experience in that moment. However, they all come from different places. You're standing in front of people who have different experiences, different mindsets, different recollections, different levels of energy, and even different reasons for being in the room. Most speakers really don't think about this. The best speakers name it directly. When a speaker accurately names what someone's experiencing, something shifts. The brain interprets it as, whoa, they get me. This person understands me. And an audience that feels understood is more likely to engage. The failure mode for this one is that the speaker delivers the same message to everyone the same way. The skeptical stay skeptical, the overwhelmed stay overwhelmed, the disengaged stay disengaged because no one spoke to them directly. The leader's version opens the room. I know some of you have been on this journey for years. I'm asking you to help the people at your table during the exercise. Your experience is a resource for this room, not just yourself. I know some of you are new to this, and that's a gift. You'll absorb this without some of the barriers and stumbling blocks that some of the more experienced folks may have. Ask every question and don't skip any steps. I know some of you are here because someone put this on your calendar. I'm asking you to stay open long enough to just find one thing that you can bring back to the office. I think you'll find it. This is the audience principle in action. Connection before transmission. You don't earn the right to communicate until the audience believes you get where they're coming from. Moment 3 is recognition reinforcement. Recognition isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment device. In a smaller meeting, you can go further. You can go beyond just naming mindsets. You can call out individuals by name, by contribution, by where they are in the journey, by what you already know about them. James, let's start with you. You have over a decade of experience, and I want the room to hear your perspective. Allison, I saw your pre-work, and the effort that you put in was exceptional. Let's start with you next. This is a different mechanism than mindset acknowledgement. When you name somebody publicly and pair it with genuine praise, two things happen simultaneously. First, the social reward circuitry lights up in the brain. Being recognized by name in a group activates the same dopamine response as other meaningful social rewards. It feels good because it's significant. Secondly, and more importantly, you've just raised the floor on their contribution level. People act in a way that's consistent with how they've been publicly identified. When James is named as the experienced voice in the room, he shows up as that voice. When Allison's recognized for her preparation, it shines a light on what good looks like. It's calibration. You're using what you already know about people to bring out the best version of them in front of others at moments that matter. The failure mode is that you know who your contributors are, but you say nothing. You leave their potential on the table and let the room find its own level, and it's usually not the highest. The leader's version invests 30 seconds in naming those who can most elevate the room, and in doing so, gives everyone else a standard to reach towards. Fourthly, tag them for specific action. The most powerful close isn't a summary, it's a specific invitation. The close is the fourth place to call out your audience. It's important because it's where action begins. A presentation without clear personal next steps is a presentation that lives entirely in the room. The moment people walk out the door, the information begins to fade away. What remains is whatever the brain tagged as personally actionable. Your job in the final minutes is to help them do that tagging, a specific next step that's calibrated specifically for who they are. The failure mode looks like this. Thank you, good meeting, gone by Monday. The intentional leaders version closes the loop by opening a specific door for each type of person in the room. For those of you who are brand new to this, don't try to do everything at once. Pick one principle and spend 2 weeks living in it to help build the foundation. For those of you who already have some experience, you already have the foundation. Identify one thing from today that you want to experiment with when you get back to the office. Put an asterisk by in your notebook and make a plan. For those of you who are experts, the highest level of learning is teaching. Take one concept from today and teach it to your team in your next meeting. You'll understand it more deeply and you'll help accelerate their learning. What this structure does is it closes the gap between insight and implementation. It does the translation for them based on where they are, not where the speaker wishes they were, and it tags it for action. This matters because the brain is more likely to act on a specific next step than an abstract idea. An idea without a clear path to implementation has functionally zero impact. The if-then close gives the implementation plan before the conversation ends. 4 moments, 4 techniques, 1 through line. The context bridge says, you have history here. I remember it and I value it. The mindset acknowledgement says, I see where you are and I've prepared for you. The recognition reinforcement says, I see what you bring and it's valuable. The if-then close says, here's the specific next step exactly for someone like you. Together, these are not just engagement tools, they're an act of service. You know the material, you know what's coming, you know what matters most to which people and when. Your audience doesn't. They're trying to pay attention to everything at once as long as they can, but their attention wears out when it gets spread too thin. When you call them out by name, by experience, by mindset, by what they're feeling, where they are, by their next step, you do something the best teachers and leaders have always done. You make the abstract personal. You make the general specific. You tell your audience exactly when and where to lean in. That's a servant leader. And here's the bonus move that sets you up for success before you even begin. Before a meeting, walk around a room and meet as many people as you can face to face. Find out what they're up against and what they're hoping to get out of the meeting today. And if appropriate, you can weave it into your talk for an extra layer of connection. You've just seen 4 ways plus a bonus way to call out the audience, to make them feel seen and recognized and ready to engage and act. Now pick one, just one. Which one resonated most for you? Write that one down and go try it in your next meeting. If this was useful, share it with a colleague who presents the best ideas, travel person to person.